Hello, and welcome to Up Close and Personal with Inelia Benz. I'm your host, Helene Lipson. For our listeners not yet acquainted with Inelia, she was born in Chile and entered this world directly from source energy without any karmic debt. And she came into this life with a sense of knowingness on a pure mission. Her soul's purpose is to raise the vibrational level of the planet to a critical point that will allow a transitioning into the new paradigm, the new level of awareness for everything, for the planet and everything in it, every rock, every insect, every person. And to do that job, Inelia is a spiritual catalyst, awakening those asleep, helping those already aware to reach a higher vibrational level. And she's even traveled to different geographical areas in various ways for the sake of cleansing it so that the vibration can come through properly. Today, we'll be talking to Inelia about shopping. Whether she's shopping for a car, shopping for food, shopping for clothes. We're going to be talking today about how she selects which products will best meet her needs as she lives out her spiritual mission. Hello, Inelia.
Hi there. So nice to be here again.
Oh, I'm so happy to talk to you. And this is a very, very, very interesting topic for me and for our listeners. And I would love to hear what you consider as a consumer before making a purchase.
Right. This is a loaded topic because consumerism or consumer society is very much what's bringing us down as a species on the planetary level, But the majority of the countries having such a different financial reality from, for example, America compared to somewhere like Ecuador, the difference in financial spectrum is so enormous. But it's basically shopping is what we do to acquire the things that we need in our lives, right? In our daily lives. And if you become a conscious shopper, you can actually help other countries, you can help your local economy, you can increase wealth within yourself and others, or you can, go the other way and just consume, 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 right? So, yeah, basically, how do you become a conscious consumer? Well, first of all, you have to look into what you already have and see how many things do I have right now that I'm not using? And do a spring cleaning, clean it all out. Anything you haven't used for over 2 years, get rid of it. Sometimes we have things that we are precious, like old photographs or our
Mhm.
childhood and things that we don't actually use, but we like to keep and keep those obviously. But there's clothes, shoes, even foods in our kitchens that have run out of date. What do we do with them and why do we keep them? So the first part of conscious shopping would be to clear our house, to clear up your environment. And then when you do go shopping, of course, there's different things. For example, shopping for clothes would be a different type of thing to shopping for food. But it's all very interrelated in that, for example, when we buy for clothes, it's all about vibration at the end of the day. It's all about vibration. If you go to a store, it doesn't matter. I mean, people think, oh, if it comes from China, then it's a sweatshop and you shouldn't buy it. That's not actually true because there's towns, whole cities in China which are owned by the citizens, and all the factories and everything in it are owned by the citizens, and they have shares in their companies, they have shares in their homes, they have shares in the government that runs the city. And those people are wealthier than we are, and they're working and building whatever's, right? Some of them are very conscientious at an environmental level. And of course, it's not like that all over China. We all know about the sweatshops as well, and the children working in factories and things. So not all products, no matter where they come from, are created equal. One of the things that you can do is look at the label, see if it's fair trade, If you buy a dress, where did it come from? If you buy something made of leather, was it humanely harvested? Those type of things, right? And sometimes we pay premium prices for these things. So yeah, the amount of things that you will be able to afford will decrease tremendously. Before you might have been able to afford 10 pairs of shoes. Now you might be able to afford one,
Okay.
right? But it's conscientious shopping. But it lasts you for years, right?
Right.
And then the other thing is to buy local. So I buy all my foods, or I try to, like 90% of my food consumption, whether it is fruits, refined products such as canned uh, products like organic tomatoes or anything like that, I try to buy from my local economy, from my environment, from Northern California. So I, for example, subscribe to one of these farms that delivers things to one's door. That's organic, an organic farm, and they bring me 2 large boxes every week with fruits and vegetables and eggs, and that will make the base of every meal that we eat at the house. Be- Before that, I would go out and buy the stuff from the supermarket, and that was a lot more expensive because, sometimes it was avocados, organic avocados from Chile, whatever, and you take into account the cost both at a financial level as well as a footprint level, the fuels and everything that was spent to bring it over is tremendous, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So buying local is really helpful. Find whatever it is that you can buy locally, and this in countries that are not, like they haven't westernized completely. It's quite easy to do. They still have these local stores that where the local growers will bring their produce, and you can buy it directly from there. But otherwise, if you live in a city, there will be farms nearby who will deliver to your door. And if you live in countries that haven't established that type of service yet, um, go out and search for it. Contact your neighbors and see if more people will join you and start buying wholesale from one of your organic farms, right? I know there's organic farms in most of the planet right now, so organize yourselves. And then when you go to the store, how do you find out there's one, like we talked about just now, the labels, right? Some of them
Mm-hmm.
will clearly state that it's humane or clearly state that it's fair trade or that it's worker owned thing. But most of it won't. So what you
No.
do is you go to the store and you hold it in your hands, whether it's a dress, whether it's a can of food.
Mm-hmm.
Hold it in your hands and see what vibration it's giving you. And don't assume because it comes from a certain country that it's going to be low vibrational. Just hold it. And also with foods, that's really interesting. You should try this. It's really cool. Go to the store, and when you find something that is really nice that you think you're going to like, or that is going to be good for you, or not, even if it's a bar of chocolate, I bought a bar of chocolate yesterday, in fact, from my local Whole Food store. And it's really interesting because when I held that bar of chocolate, I asked it, or I asked my body, can we eat this, right? I was holding it in my hand while I was talking to Daniela. Actually, we went shopping together, my daughter and assistant, and we were paying for the things. And, or somebody was paying before us. And I held it in my hand and I asked my body, can we eat this? And my body said, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
Right? Yeah. So, and I managed to eat one little square of it because it was obviously the first ingredient was milk. The second ingredient was sugar. And I didn't even read the rest because with those two, they're at the moment really toxic, right? And even though it was natural and, good practices type chocolate, it still has those ingredients in it. So I was still able to eat a tiny little bit. So the rest of it is still in my purse. It'll probably take about a month to finish it. But our physical bodies are designed to eliminate toxins. It's just that we have overpowered them with toxins. That's the problem, right? We have overpowered them with toxins. So what we can do once we clear ourselves, so we have cleansings and we change our diet to be more light, more high vibrational, we can really hear and listen out to our bodies and say, okay, how much of this toxin can I take right now that we can handle? Right? And your body will tell you, yeah, just take a little bite. We can handle a little bite. We can process that toxin, right?
I was surprised it really worked. I'd spoken to Daniela, and she said to me, you take a walk and you ask your body. You ask your body and listen for the answer. Ask your body, would you like oatmeal? Would you like some pears? Would you like yogurt? What would you like to eat? And I felt like it really sincerely answered me. I felt like I was getting my answers. I just never
Absolutely.
I just never thought to ask. A lot of people never think to do just that. Now,
Yeah.
what about making a big purchase, shopping for a car, shopping for a house? These are huge matters.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And again, you have to really balance energies out. It's all about vibration. At the moment, I'm in the middle of buying a car because I lost my car.
Oh,
So broke down, and the cost of repairing it is higher than the car is worth. So it's time for me to get a new car. And it's really about balancing the toxins that the car will bring in. How was it manufactured? What type of technology behind it? The actual vibration, the car will talk to you. The car that you test drive will talk to you and will give a generic type energy of how that manufacturer, how they're taking care of their workers, how they're taking care of the planet, how they're procuring their material, their raw materials. It will actually talk to you when you go and visit that car. And I had amazing experiences trying different cars with regards to this. And unfortunately, one of the cars that said, "Yeah, I'm like pretty one of the top cleanest type cars energetically speaking," because obviously cars will still, most of them will still use petrol, right? The
mm,
cars that I can afford, at least, the ones that don't use petrols are way out of my price range, so I can't really afford those right now.
sure.
But so from taking that into account as well, what can I afford right now? And living in America, you can't really live without a car. Unfortunately, the entire country is designed to be in a car. They don't have public transport, it's no sidewalks, so it's stuck. You have to have a car. And one of the top ones that was like really nice was a Mercedes Benz, right? It's like ching ching, the price tag was so high on it. It was just
Oh,
amazing. So it's like, oh man, vibrationally speaking, it's up there, right? It's one of the top ones. Second, vibrationally speaking, came the Volkswagen. I was quite surprised.
oh.
Yeah, and it wasn't as clean. The engine wasn't as clean as the Mercedes-Benz, but it was pretty up there. And also the vibration, it was just solid, like in a good way. It didn't dissonate too much. They have, if I research and probably find that they have good practices overall. Obviously, none of them are completely 100% vibrationally clean. And if you're going to get something that's 100% vibrationally clean, I looked at one, it was like $100,000. It's like,
Mm.
oh my goodness, you could buy a house for that. We can buy the Ascension Center for that. So yeah, it's like, not quite there yet, but sometimes we have to we have to choose and get what's vibrationally the highest we have access to. And that's what I'm working with at the moment. I'm still researching and seeing what I can find.
What's so interesting about this program today is it's a very empowering topic where you bring us back to being in control as a consumer, where we're listening to ourselves, where we're asking about a product and our need for it, and we are listening to the impact it would have in our lives. And that's something different.
Yes, definitely listening to it and listening to your body, because your body knows. Your body knows at a physical level the vibrations that that product will bring into your life.
It's interesting. And I'm so glad that you were able to talk with us today on Up Close and Personal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Helene.
I'm your host, Helene Lipson. Till we meet again, love, light, and blessings to all. Namaste.